All right, listen up, America, because this story is so wild it sounds like someone made it up at a bar in Nashville after 3 cheap beers. Picture this, a 26-year-old dude from just outside Columbus, Ohio, with $47,000 in student debt, a busted Honda Civic that smells like old French fries, zero farming background, zero rich relatives, zero trust fund, decides he is done with the whole American dream script that tells you to go to college, get debt, get a cubicle job, get more debt, and somehow be happy. 3 years later, that same dude is completely debt-free, has 70 grand in the bank, owns all his tools outright, and is pulling in over $100,000 a year, growing lettuce and tomatoes on land you would not even want to park your truck on. No joke. No guru course, no inheritance, just 2.5 acres of weedy slope that a landlord could not even give away, a wheelbarrow, and a brain that figured out how the real money game works in food. If you have ever felt trapped by bills, by rent, by that soul-sucking job that pays you just enough to keep you stuck, this case study is for you. This is Debt-Free by 30 with an organic microfarm, and we track this whole thing for a full year for Organic Matters. What is up, family? Welcome back to Organic Matters, the channel where we keep it 100% real about organic farming in the United States of America. Not the perfect Instagram version where everyone is glowing and holding baskets. The real version where your back hurts, your boots are muddy, but your bank account actually grows. If you are new here, hit subscribe because we are building a whole army of regular Americans who want to farm smart, live free, and tell the big ag system to take a hike. So let us meet our guy. We are going to call him Jake. Jake is not his real name because he asked us to keep it private since his landlord does not even know how much money he makes off that little piece of ground. Jake grew up in a normal working class town in Ohio. Public school, played a little football, got told by every adult in his life that if he did not go to college, he would be a loser. So he went to Ohio State, got a communications degree he never used, and graduated with a pile of debt that felt like a mountain on his chest. He got a job in a warehouse outside Dayton, $18.50 an hour, scanning boxes for 10 hours a day under fluorescent lights. He lived in a one-bedroom apartment with a roommate, ate a lot of frozen pizza, had a car payment, had credit card debt, had student loans, had that constant low-level anxiety that so many Americans in their 20s know way too well. One night he is on his couch eating gas station sushi, scrolling TikTok, and he sees a dude in Pennsylvania who claims he makes $15,000 a month off a quarter acre of salad greens. Jake laughed out loud. He thought it was a scam. He thought it was some crypto bro turned farmer bro trying to sell a course. But he could not sleep. He kept thinking about it. So for 6 months he went deep, not kind of deep, like full nerd deep. He watched every YouTube video about organic microgreens, about lean farming, about market gardening in the United States. He read Elliot Coleman. He read Jean-Martin Fortier. He went to the local extension office and asked dumb questions. He hung out at the farmer market in Columbus and asked the old timers how much they actually made. Most folks would not tell him, but a couple did. Then he did something that takes guts. He took his tax return, $3,200, found a guy on Craigslist who had 2.5 acres behind his house that was all thistles and slope and junk, and he asked if he could lease it for $200 a month. The landlord said, yeah, whatever, just do not bother me. That was it. That was day one of his farm. No tractor, no barn, no fancy greenhouse. Just a beat-up broadfork he bought used, a wheel hoe, some cheap landscape fabric, and a whole lot of YouTube knowledge. Now, everybody wants to know how he went from that to debt-free by 30. And this is where we have to get savage honest because most people get this whole microfarm thing completely wrong. They watch one video and think they will be rich in a month. That is not how it works. So we are breaking down 8 hard truths that most people mess up about going debt-free with an organic microfarm in America. If you miss these, you will fail. If you get these, you have a shot. Truth number 1 that most people get wrong. You do not need a lot of land. In America, we are brainwashed to think bigger is better. Bigger house, bigger truck, bigger farm. That is the lie that keeps you broke. Jake made 80% of his income off less than half an acre. Read that again. Half an acre. Not 50. Half. In Ohio, an acre of commodity corn might make you $700 or $800 profit after you pay for seed, spray, diesel, and the elevator takes its cut. Jake was making $30,000 to $50,000 off a quarter acre of high-value organic crops. He was not farming acres. He was farming dollars per square foot. He treated his farm like a tiny downtown store in Manhattan where every inch has to pay rent. That is how you win when you do not own a huge spread. Truth number 2 that most people get wrong. You should not quit your job on day one. Social media loves that dramatic moment where you quit your job and chase your dream. That is great for views. It is terrible for paying rent. Jake kept his warehouse job for 14 months while he built his farm on nights and weekends. He would work 10 hours in the warehouse, drive 30 minutes to his patch, work 2 hours in the dark with a headlamp, then drive home and fall asleep in his work clothes. He was exhausted. His friends thought he was crazy, but he was smart. He did not put pressure on his little seedlings to pay his electric bill in month 2. He let the farm grow up slow while his job paid the bills. By the time he quit his job, the farm was already making more money than the warehouse. That is how you do it without going bankrupt and moving back into your mom's basement. Truth number 3 that most people get wrong. Organic is not a disadvantage. It is your biggest advantage in America right now. People think organic means more work, more bugs, less money. Wrong. Jake used organic as his moneymaker. He did not spend money on synthetic fertilizer. He did not spend money on herbicide. He did not spend $10,000 fixing a tractor. He built soil biology like it was a bank account, compost, cover crops, chicken tractors, leaf mulch from the city that he got for free. His input costs were tiny. And here is the kicker. In the United States right now, customers will literally fight each other to give you money for clean food they trust. Moms in Columbus will pay $8 for a bag of salad mix that was picked yesterday morning and was never sprayed, over $2 for that slimy plastic box from California that tastes like wet cardboard and has been on a truck for 6 days. Jake did not have to compete with Walmart. He was in a totally different game. Truth number 4 that most people get wrong: do not grow everything. New farmers want to grow 50 crops and have chickens and goats and bees and sourdough and all of it in year 1. That is how you burn out by July 4th and post a sad video about quitting farming. Jake grew 10 crops total. 10. Salad mix, baby arugula, spinach, radishes, baby carrots, cherry tomatoes, slicer cucumbers, Genovese basil, sunflower microgreens, and Albion strawberries. That is it. 10 crops that are fast, high value, and that people buy every single week without thinking. He got so dang good at those 10 crops that his quality was unreal. His salad mix had 12 different varieties in it, different colors, different textures. It looked like art. Chefs in Columbus started calling him. He was not okay at 50 things. He was amazing at 10 things. In America, we pay a premium for the specialist, not the generalist. Truth number 5 that most people get wrong. The farmer market is not where the real money is. Farmer markets in America are awesome for marketing, but they are brutal. You wake up at 4 in the morning, you load your truck, you sit in the sun or the rain for 6 hours, and you hope people show up. Jake did markets in year 1, but by year 2, he figured out the cheat code. 50 families paying $35 a week for a weekly bag of his best stuff. He called it the Salad Club. They paid up front for the whole month. Every Monday, he had a guaranteed $1,750 coming in before he even harvested. He set up 2 pickup spots, one at a coffee shop in Columbus and one at a brewery in the suburbs. People loved it. It was like a CSA, but way simpler and focused on stuff people actually want. That recurring revenue is how he crushed his debt. That is not old school farming. That is a modern subscription business in the United States that just happens to be powered by sunshine and soil. Truth number 6 that most people get wrong. Farming is not about farming. It is about selling. This one stings for introverts. Jake spent almost half his work week not farming. He was emailing chefs. He was posting dumb, funny videos of him falling into his compost pile. He was doing farm tours for kids. He was talking to customers about how to keep salad fresh. He was at the coffee shop shaking hands. He became the salad guy. In a world where everyone in America is lonely and disconnected and buying food from a faceless corporation, people crave connection. They want to know the dude who grew their tomatoes. They want to bring their kid to your farm and see a chicken. If you're great at growing but terrible at telling your story, you will stay broke. If you're good at growing and great at connecting, you will never be broke. Truth number 7 that most people get wrong. Getting debt-free is not about making more money. It is about keeping more money. Jake lived like a broke college student on purpose for 3 years. He parked a beat-up used camper on the farm and lived in it. He showered at the gym. He cooked every meal at home. He drove a 2011 Toyota Corolla with a cracked windshield. He never bought new tools. He bought used. He borrowed. He traded salad for stuff while his buddies were financing brand new lifted trucks and going to Miami for the weekend and buying bottles at the club. He was taking every extra dollar from the farm and slamming it straight into his debt, smallest to largest. Snowball method, car payment gone, credit cards gone, student loans gone one by one. He told us the morning he paid off the last loan, he just sat in between his beds of arugula and cried like a baby, not because he was rich, but because for the first time since he was 18, no human being or bank owned his future. Truth number 8 that most people get wrong. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to start ugly. Jake's first beds were crooked. His first salad mix had weeds in it. His first market tent blew away in the wind, and he had to chase it across the parking lot while everybody watched. He lost whole beds to deer. He planted too late. He planted too early. He forgot to water. He made every mistake in the book, but he kept going. In America, we are so scared to look dumb that we never start. Jake started dumb and got smart by doing. The field is the best teacher. Not a book, not a course, not a video. The dirt teaches you if you show up. Now, let me give you an analogy that will make this click if you have ever tried to get in shape. Because most folks in the United States understand gym talk. Trying to get debt-free with a big conventional farm is like trying to get ripped by running a full marathon on day 1 when you have not walked around the block in 2 years. You will puke, you will hate life, you will quit, and you will tell everyone running is stupid. But a tiny organic microfarm done right is like doing 20 minutes of super focused strength training in your garage garage every single day. Small space, high intensity, consistent effort. And after a year, you look in the mirror and you do not even recognize yourself. Jake did not need 100 acres and $1 million in equipment. He needed a space the size of 2 basketball courts and a system that made every square foot work like an employee. I want to be real with y'all for a second because I have skin in this game. My uncle in Wisconsin lost his 80-acre dairy farm when I was a kid. He did everything the old American way told him to do. Big loan for cows, big loan for tractor, big loan for barn. Pray milk prices stay up. Milk prices crashed, feed went through the roof, and the bank took it all in like 6 months. I watched a grown man cry at the auction while they sold his cows. That image never left me. So when I see a young guy like Jake take 2.5 acres that nobody wanted and turn it into freedom with no debt, no giant loans, just biology and brains and hustle, it feels like hope. It feels like maybe the future of farming in the United States is not giant corporations spraying corn from airplanes. Maybe it is 1,000 little Jakes feeding their own towns and actually owning their lives. Let us talk real numbers so you know I am not blowing smoke. Year one, least $200 a month, sales $22,000, expenses $14,000 because he was building beds and buying basic tools and a used cooler. Profit about $8,000. He did not get rich, he learned. Year two, sales $58,000, expenses $27,000, profit $31,000. He paid off his car and half his student loans and still lived in that little camper. Year three, sales $94,000, expenses $32,000, profit $62,000, paid off every last student loan, every credit card, and put $20,000 in savings, all on less than half an acre in actual production. No tractor, just a broad fork, a wheel hoe, a tiny walk behind tiller he got for $600 off Facebook Marketplace, and a used salad spinner made from a washing machine. And yes, he works hard. March to October, he is up with the sun, in bed by 9, hands cracked, back sore, sunburned. It is not easy, but he is not in a warehouse anymore. He does not have a boss. He does not have an alarm clock owned by a corporation. He owns his mornings. In 2026 in America, that is a real flex. Not a new truck, freedom. Now, before you run out and lease the first patch of weeds you see, let me give you the unsexy reality check that nobody on YouTube tells you. Soil tests matter. Water matters a lot. If you do not have good water, you are dead. Proximity to a city with people who have money and care about organic food matters a lot. Columbus works. Middle of nowhere with no customers within an hour might not work unless you do something else. And you have to love the work. If you hate being outside, if you hate bugs, if you hate talking to people, this will make you miserable, even if it makes you money. But if you are the kind of person who would rather be tired from work that matters than tired from work that does not, this path is wide open right now in the United States of America. So I got to ask y'all something, and I really want you to fight about this in the comments because I think we need to have this debate as a country. Do you think this debt-free by 30 Microfarm thing is a real repeatable path for regular broke Americans who are willing to hustle? Or is Jake just a super lucky exception who happened to find cheap land next to a city full of rich people who love salad, and if most of us tried it, we would lose our shirts and end up even more broke than before? Is this the future of farming in America, or is it just a nice fairy tale for YouTube? Let me know. Drop your story. If you tried it, if you are doing it, if you think I am full of it. I read every comment. And family, if this story hit you in the chest and gave you a little bit of hope today, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button for Organic Matters. We are out here every week telling the real stories of real organic farmers in the United States who are actually making it work without selling their soul. And you absolutely do not want to miss what we got coming next week. We are dropping a video that could literally save your farm. Insurance for organic farms, what disaster actually costs. We are talking real numbers. What happens when a freak hailstorm in Ohio wipes out your entire tomato crop the week before you are supposed to make 10 grand? What happens when a flood drowns your spring spinach? What does organic farm insurance actually cover? What sneaky stuff does it not cover? And how much does it really cost to not lose everything you built when Mother Nature decides to throw hands? If you are farming or thinking about farming, this is the video that keeps you from going bankrupt in one bad afternoon. So hit subscribe, ring that bell, and I will see you next week. Keep your soil alive and your debt dead.